The airport pickup area at 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday should have been routine. My wife Sylvie stepping off the curb with her rolling suitcase, maybe a tired smile, asking about dinner plans. Instead, I watched her emerge from the sliding glass doors with Lucas Vane's arm wrapped around her waist like they owned the world. "Holden." She spotted me leaning against my truck, didn't even have the decency to look embarrassed. "We need to talk." Lucas smirked from behind his designer sunglasses. At night. The guy actually wore sunglasses at night like some wannabe celebrity. "This your husband?" Thought he'd be taller. I studied them both. Sylvie in her expensive business suit, glowing with that post-vacation confidence. Lucas in his perfectly pressed khakis and polo shirt, the kind of real estate developer who sold overpriced condos to retirees and called it luxury living. "Don't like it?" Sylvie's voice carried that new edge I'd been hearing for months. "Get a divorce." I pulled out my phone, snapped a quick photo of them together, noted his license plate number. BMW, naturally. "Noted." She laughed, actually laughed, like I'd just told her a joke. Lucas joined in, and they climbed into his car without another word. I watched them drive away, already planning. The house felt different when I walked through the front door 20 minutes later. Everything looked the same. Our wedding photos still lined the hallway. Her coffee mug still sat in the sink from 3 days ago, but the air itself had changed. Like walking into a crime scene before the police arrived. I'd found her burner phone 2 weeks ago, wedged behind the couch cushions. Hotel receipts, text messages that made my stomach turn, photos I couldn't unsee. But I hadn't confronted her. Confrontation was for amateurs. Smart people gathered intelligence first. My laptop hummed to life on the kitchen table. Banking websites, credit card accounts, our joint investment portfolio. Sylvie had always been too busy with her corporate strategy job to handle the finances. That was my department, she said. The boring technical stuff that kept her free to focus on important matters. Funny how quickly boring became powerful. I started with the credit cards. Access denied, account frozen pending verification. Her corporate card would work until tomorrow morning, but everything else? Gone. Then the bank accounts. Joint checking moved to individual checking. Her name removed from the investment portfolio. All perfectly legal. My name was primary on everything anyway. My phone buzzed with her first confused text. "Card declined at gas station. Fix it." I typed back, "System maintenance. Try tomorrow." Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Sylvie's office building gleamed like a monument to ambition, all glass and steel reaching toward the clouds. I'd visited exactly twice in our 5-year marriage, both times for holiday parties where she introduced me as my husband, he works in IT, before drifting away to network with more important people. But I knew her computer password. I knew her email signature. I knew she never logged out of her work account because she trusted everyone in her pristine corporate world. The resignation email took me 10 minutes to craft. Professional, apologetic, citing personal reasons and family obligations. Effective immediately. I sent it from her account at 9:47 a.m., right when her boss would be checking messages with his morning coffee. Her corporate credit card declined at lunch. I knew because I'd set up alerts on all our accounts months ago, back when I still thought we were a team. The phone call came at 2:15 p.m. "What did you do?" Sylvie's voice cracked with panic. "My boss thinks I quit. My cards aren't working. Everyone's looking at me like I'm insane." "Sounds stressful," I said, reorganizing the garage. "Maybe Lucas can help." "This isn't funny, Holden. Fix this right now or what? You'll leave me for your boyfriend? Already tried that one." The line went quiet except for her breathing. When she spoke again, her voice carried that cold calculation I'd learned to recognize. "You have no idea who you're messing with." She was right about that. I was messing with Sylvie Noren, corporate strategist, master manipulator, woman who could smile while stabbing you in the back, but she had no idea who she was messing with either. By evening, the counterattack began. My work email filled with concerned messages from colleagues. Someone had spread rumors. I was unstable, controlling, had been sabotaging Sylvie's career for years. Social media whispered with carefully planted stories about our troubled marriage. Lucas's public relations firm, no doubt. The man had connections throughout the city, friends in media and business, who could shape narratives with a few phone calls. But I had something better than connections. I had evidence. The anonymous email went to 12 recipients: Sylvie's boss, her parents, her sister, and most importantly, Marla Sykes. Marla, the best friend who'd been Sylvie's college roommate, maid of honor at our wedding, and secret rival for the past 15 years. Photos from their business trip, text messages planning their weekend getaway, hotel receipts charged to our joint account, video clips from Lucas's social media showing them together at restaurants I couldn't afford. I sent everything with a simple subject line: thought you should know. The Rusty Anchor wasn't the kind of place Sylvie normally visited. Too many blue-collar workers, too much honest conversation, not enough networking opportunities. But Lucas had insisted on meeting there, probably thinking it would intimidate me on my own turf. They walked in like they owned the place. Sylvie had traded her business suits for designer jeans and a silk blouse that cost more than most people's car payments. Lucas wore his confidence like cologne, thick and obvious. Holden. He slid into the booth across from me without being invited. We need to discuss terms. Terms for what? Your surrender. He leaned back, signaling the waitress for drinks. Sylvie deserves better than this petty revenge nonsense. You're embarrassing yourself. I sipped my beer, studying his face. Handsome in that generic way that photographed well, with perfect teeth and skin that had never seen real work. How's your car running? What? Your BMW. Heard you had some trouble with it yesterday. His expression shifted slightly. The parking garage incident had rattled him more than he wanted to admit. Finding his tires flat, his windshield decorated with washable paint, spelling out creative descriptions of his character, his tailpipe stuffed with rotting seafood. That was you? Sylvie's voice rose above the bar noise. Prove it. I finished my beer, stood up slowly. Enjoy your drinks. As I walked toward the door, I palmed Lucas's car keys from the table where he'd carelessly tossed them. Old habits from my teenage years, skills I'd thought I'd never need again. The parking lot was poorly lit, perfect for what came next. His replacement BMW sat under a broken streetlight, already attracting attention from a group of local guys who recognized expensive when they saw it. I didn't slash his tires this time, too predictable. Instead, I used his own keys to rearrange his car's location, specifically into the space reserved for the bar owner's motorcycle. Then I left the keys on his windshield with a note: parking violation. Please see management. The bar owner, Tommy Rodriguez, had a reputation for creative solutions to parking problems. His motorcycle was his pride and joy, a vintage Harley he'd restored himself. Finding a BMW in its spot would trigger exactly the kind of response I was counting on. I was halfway home when my phone rang. Marla Sykes. You magnificent jerk, she said without preamble. I've been waiting 15 years for someone to take Sylvie down a peg. I don't know what you mean. The photos, the emails, all of it. She's been using me as her backup plan for years. Did you know she told Lucas I was jealous of her success? That I'd been trying to sabotage her career? Actually, I hadn't known that, but it explained why Marla had responded to my anonymous email with enthusiasm instead of outrage. She's planning something big, Marla continued. Tomorrow night, Lucas is throwing himself a birthday party at the country club. Invitation only, all their important friends. She wants to announce their engagement. They're engaged? Not yet, but she's planning to force his hand publicly. make it impossible for him to back out without losing face. I pulled into my driveway, mind already working. What time? 8 o'clock. Black tie optional, egos mandatory. Lucas's high-rise condo represented everything he thought he'd achieved. 32nd floor, floor-to-ceiling windows, furniture that looked expensive and uncomfortable. I'd never been inside, but Sylvie had described it in detail during our last honest conversation months ago, back when she still pretended to love me. Getting inside was easier than expected. Sylvie had left her spare key on my key ring, probably forgotten it was there. Lucas had given her access weeks ago, another symbol of their serious relationship. The party invitation went out through his own email account to every contact in his phone. Business associates, golf buddies, ex-girlfriends, his mother. The subject line read, "Surprise, early birthday celebration tonight. Come as you are." I scheduled it to send at 6 p.m., giving everyone just enough time to show up confused and underdressed to his real party at the country club. But first, I had some redecorating to do. Nothing illegal, nothing stolen, just rearranged. His expensive art collection now decorated the bathroom. His designer suits hung in the kitchen. His wine collection had been opened and poured down the sink, the empty bottles arranged in a heart shape on his bed. The pièce de résistance was his home office. I'd found his laptop open, logged into his company's internal messaging system. A few carefully crafted messages to his business partners, written in his own casual style, sharing his honest opinions about their intelligence, their wives, and their business practices. I was admiring my handiwork when his key turned in the front door lock. Early arrival, probably coming to change clothes for the country club party. The bathroom window led to a fire escape. I was 3 floors down before he started screaming. The car chase wasn't planned. I was driving home, windows down, enjoying the evening air, when Lucas's rental car appeared in my rearview mirror. His BMW was apparently still impounded from the bar incident. He followed me through downtown traffic, honking and gesturing like a maniac. Other drivers stared, some pulling out phones to record the spectacle. I led him away from populated areas, out toward the country roads where my truck had advantages his rental sedan couldn't match. The winding hill road was perfect. Steep drops on one side, thick trees on the other. I knew every curve from years of weekend drives with Sylvie back when we still enjoyed each other's company. Lucas tried to pass me on a straightaway, probably planning to force me to stop. Instead, I tapped my brakes just as we hit the next curve. His rental car slid sideways, tires squealing, before sliding gently into the muddy ditch. I stopped, backed up, rolled down my window. "You okay in there?" He was covered in mud, his perfect hair disheveled, his designer shirt torn. "You crazy piece of—" "Careful," I interrupted. "Wouldn't want to say something you'd regret." I took a photo with my phone, the flash illuminating his humiliated face through the cracked windshield. Smile for the internet. The Willowbrook Country Club had hosted every important social event in our circle for the past 50 years. Charity galas, wedding receptions, business dinners where deals were made over 18-year-old scotch and handshake agreements. Tonight, it would host the end of Sylvie's world. I arrived early before the valet service started and parked in the back lot. Black tie optional meant I could blend in with a simple dark suit, the kind I wore to work presentations. Nothing flashy, nothing memorable. The main ballroom buzzed with conversation and clinking glasses. Lucas held court near the bar, regaling friends with an edited version of his recent adventures. He'd cleaned up well, considering his ditch-diving expedition, though I noticed a small bandage on his forehead. Sylvie worked the room like the professional she was, air-kissing acquaintances and dropping hints about major announcements. She wore her lucky red dress, the one from our first anniversary dinner, now repurposed for her new beginning. I found Marla near the appetizer table, elegant in black silk and pearls. She nodded slightly when she saw me, then drifted toward the audio-visual equipment. "Ladies and gentlemen," Lucas's voice boomed through the microphone at exactly 9 p.m. "Thank you all for celebrating with me tonight. I have a very special announcement to make." The crowd gathered closer. Sylvie beamed beside him, her left hand positioned prominently for maximum ring visibility when the moment came. "But first," I said, stepping into the spotlight, "I have something to share." The room went quiet. Sylvie's smile froze. Lucas squinted into the lights, trying to locate me in the crowd. "Many of you know me as Sylvie's husband. What you don't know is what she's been doing on her business trips." Marla had already connected my laptop to the club's projection system. The first image appeared on the wall behind Lucas. Sylvie and Lucas kissing outside a hotel in Chicago. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone's wine glass shattered on the marble floor. "This is from 3 months ago," I continued, advancing slowly through the crowd. "Here's last month in Miami. More photos, text message screenshots, hotel receipts charged to our joint credit card." "You can't do this," Sylvie hissed, but her voice barely carried without the microphone. "Actually, I can. It's all public record now. See, while you were planning your new life, I was documenting your old one." Lucas lunged toward me, probably intending to tackle me or grab the microphone. I sidestepped easily, and his momentum carried him straight into the 3-tier birthday cake. Chocolate frosting exploded across his perfect shirt as he crashed to the floor. The crowd erupted in shocked laughter. Phone cameras flashed from every direction. "The best part," I said, retrieving the microphone from where Lucas had dropped it, "is that your best friend helped me do it." I gestured toward Marla, who stepped forward with a satisfied smile. "Surprise, Sylvie. Remember all those secrets you shared with me? All those plans to take Holden for everything he had? I recorded every conversation." Sylvie's face crumpled as the implications hit her. Her boss was in the crowd, her parents, her sister, everyone who mattered in her carefully constructed social world. "You wanted a divorce," I said, pulling our wedding ring from my pocket and placing it on the cake-covered table. "Consider this your settlement hearing." Sylvie tried to speak, tried to salvage something from the wreckage, but the crowd was already dispersing. Conversations buzzed with excitement and scandal. Tomorrow's gossip had just been served on a silver platter. Lucas struggled to his feet, frosting dripping from his hair. "This isn't over." "Yes," I said, looking directly at Sylvie as she stood alone in her red dress. "It is." I walked toward the exit, leaving them both in the ruins of their perfect party. Behind me I heard Sylvie calling my name, her voice breaking with desperation and rage. I didn't turn around. The last word, as promised, was mine.